Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Haizul. Me and my friend would like to explain about fatwa institution in Malaysia. So, what is fatwa? Fatwa is an important element in Islamic law which discuss about issues relating to human. So there is two type of fatwa institution. Firstly is JAKIM and secondly is State Fatwa Institution. So there is a portal which is e-portal JAKIM which explain about contemporary issue that was not discussed in Prophet era.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Shahmi bin Dahlan and I will present the fatwa on blood and organ donating. Organ or tissue donation is the procedure of transferring or transplanting organs or part of organ from one person to another person who is in need due to injury or organ failure. Following organ transplantation, the patient will have a higher quality of life to preserve the maqasid syariah. So, blood and organ donation is permissible in order to protect the human's life, as mentioned by Allah in Surah Al-Baqarah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Yuridullahu bikum al-yusra wa la yuridu bikum al-usra. Allah intends for you ease and does not intend for you hardship. The Fourth Conference of National Fatwa Proceeding Committee for Matters Pertaining Islam has decided that the ruling of blood donating is permitted. It is also necessary to separate the blood of non-Muslim and Muslim. And according to Sheikh Dr. Yusuf Al-Qaradawi, stated that blood and organ donation might be regarded a tremendous kind of charity in our time and culture. This is because giving blood is not only beneficial to patient, but it is also necessary for life-saving procedure and therapies. The following Islamic legal maxim has also found the blood and organ donation is lawful. Firstly, matter is determined by intention, which is al-umur bil maqasidiha. The goal of an organ transplant is to preserve a patient's life while avoiding larger injury by selecting for the least harmful option. Organ transplantation is not done with bad intent in mind, such as insulting and harming the deceased or for monetary gain, but simply the goal is to save life.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Abdul Master bin Jamain and I will continue our presentation with the fatwa on plastic surgery. Firstly, plastic surgery is a type of surgery that changes a person's looks as well as its ability to function. Plastic surgery inevitably leads to the willful alteration of God creation, and changing the creation of Allah is strictly forbidden in Islam. This is based on the Quran verse, and I, Satan, will give them my orders so they shall alter the creation of Allah, and whoever takes the Satan as friends instead of Allah has incurred an obvious loss. However, contemporary scholars have divided plastic surgery into three stages. Firstly, essential daruriyah, and then necessity hajah, and lastly complementary tahsinab. For the daruriyah surgery, it is done with the aim of saving the patient's life or minimizing the patient's risk from living a very difficult life, such as reconstruction of the skull or face due to an accident and plastic surgery for burnt skin. Next is necessity hajah. The purpose is to repair and treat the human body to function normally, whether it is because of an accident or birth defect, such as post-cancer breast reconstruction and cleft lips on baby that make it difficult to breastfeed. For this situation, it is permissible for the person to undergo plastic surgery based on legal maxim. Necessity render prohibited things permissible. Okay, next we go to the complementary plastic surgery. It is an operation that focuses on physical beautification. There are an issue among the scholars on this operation, either it is permissible or otherwise. Some of Mujtahid said that it is not permissible because it leads to the willful alteration of God creation based on the hadith Rasulullah SAW. May Allah because the women who do tattoos and those who whom tattoos are done, those who pluck their eyebrow, and those who file their teeth for the purpose of beautification and alter the creation of Allah. However, there are also opinions from the mujtahid that this type of surgery is not absolutely haram because it can increase self-confidence due to the defect some part of human body. This is based on the hadith the Prophet have ordered Sahabat to get a nose made of gold. The hadith is, my nose was severed on the day of Al-Kulab during Jahiliyah. So I got a nose of paper that caused me an infection. So the Messenger of Allah SAW ordered me to get a nose made of gold. So according to Jakim, it stated that it is necessary to do so. Then plastic surgery is permissible unless it does not completely alter the God creation and cause a hazard to the patient. Okay, next we go to fatwa on transplant. According to National Cancer Institute, transplant is a surgical procedure that involves the transfer of tissue or an organ from one part of a person's body to another. Examples of transplantable organ and tissue include the heart, liver, lung, skin, and kidney. Basically, in the opinion of Islamic, organ transplantation is permissible in Islam. This is because it fulfills the requirement in the preservation of human life. Allah SWT has said which means, and if anyone save a life, it will be as if he saved the life of the whole people. Organ transplantation is used as a last effort to preserve the life of patient, and by doing transplantation, it can eliminate harm to the patient. It aligns with the legal maxim, harm must be eliminated. However, there is also an issue among society regarding organ transplantation. For example, can Muslims receive organ from non-Muslim? So, for the question, in Islam, there are no limitations on transplanting organ from non-Muslim to Muslim. This is since human organ cannot be classified as Islamic or otherwise. As been stated Dr. Yusuf Al-Qadawi, person faith is depend on the human soul and it is not determined by his organ. Okay, next we go to the fatwa for organ transplantation. According to National Fatwa Council of Malaysia, transplant of the eyes and heart is permissible if the following conditions are met. Firstly, it is performed in critical and crucial conditions where the recipient life depends on the organ transplantation, and the transplantation have a high success rate. Secondly, in order to perform a heart transplant, the donor death must be confirmed first. And lastly, permission from the donor must be acquired before transplantation in the case of natural death, or from family member in the case of death resulting from accident. Meanwhile, according to the fatwa of the Islamic Religious Council of Singapore, it is permissible for organ transplantation in critical and crucial situations for the purpose of saving life. So, based on the finding, we assume that organ transplantation is permissible for the purpose to fulfill one of the objectives of Islamic law, which is the preservation of human life, and with transplantation, it can eliminate harm to patient.
So the next fatwa that we will discuss is in vitro fertilization, which commonly called as IVF. So IVF is a assisted reproduction which a man's sperm and a woman's ovum are mixed together in a laboratory outside of the body. So this test baby tube was debated in the Muzakarah of Fatwa National Council for Fatwa Malaysia, which explained that the hukum of IVF is mubah if the sperm and ovum obtained from a married couple. The fertilization is inserted back to the uterus of a woman with the title of lawful wife. So that's all. It is mubah. So the next fatwa that we will discuss is Botox. So what is Botox? Botox, or commonly known as botulinum toxin, is a medication used to treat facial problem and wrinkles. So the function of Botox is to smooth and repair wrinkle face. The fatwa on Botox based on Dr. Soleh bin Muhammad Al Fawza, he stated that there are 3 rules to allow the usage of collagen on human body part. Firstly, the collagen must be derived from halal sources. For example, slaughtered calf. Secondly, a certified doctor must be clear that the injection is safe. And then lastly, the medication made must be done to treat severe wrinkles only. However, if the treatment cause studies or change the Allah creation, it is prohibited. So thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Muhammad Fahrul Lutfi, and I would like to present about hormone and AMD. AMD, which is Advanced Medical Directive. Fatwa about AMD, which is declaration made by competent person about future medical treatment in the event that they are unable to make a decision at a later date. In order meaning, a legal document in which a person specifies what action should be taken for their health if they are no longer able to make decision for themselves because of illness or incapacity. According to the Fatwa Committee, if he or she is terminally ill and cannot do anything, and he or she don't want to use the life support to stay alive, then they must follow. This is based on hadith about a sick lady who begged Prophet Muhammad to pray for her, and then he said, if you want to be patient, then the recompense is paradise. If you wish to be healed, then I will pray to Allah to heal you. Then I will be patient, the woman added. Thus, it is permissible in Islamic law. What is hormone? Hormone is a hormonal shift to change a physical and behavior appearance of a gender. This is based on the hadith Prophet Muhammad SAW cursed effeminate men, which is mukanatan, and women who imitated men. Therefore, it is haram for women to behave and dress like a man and vice versa. However, in the case of Kunsa, the National Fatwa Committee declared in April 1982 that if a person is born male, he shall be treated as such. Similarly, if a person is born female, she will be treated as such regardless of whether or not they have undergone reassignment surgery.
Okay, so next is fatwa related to postmortem. An autopsy, often known as a postmortem examination, is the examination of a corpse after it has died. Postmortem is performed to identify the cause of death. Essentially, it is forbidden to murder a Muslim for no cause. The ruling of maintaining a Muslim honor after he died is the same as the rule of protecting him while he was living. In Hadith, the Prophet Muhammad SAW said, breaking a diseased body's bone is exactly like breaking them when he is alive. Sunan Abu Dawud. So there is some opinion of fiqh scholar regarding to the postmortem. According to the National Fatwa of Malaysia, although it is against the law to perform a surgery on a diseased person, it is permissible in extreme circumstances when it is necessary. such as when it is done for the purpose of researching deadly disease, determining the cause of death, research, and education, particularly in the field of medicine. Next, the Malaysian Embassy lodged a complaint with the Saudi Arabian government, requesting them to explain their position on performing surgery or operation of the body of deceased Muslim. So, the fatwa of Council Senior Scholar Saudi Arabia stated that an autopsy or surgery is performed to determine the nature of a crime, and then an operation to detect hazardous illness in order to put in place preventative measures to stop the disease from spreading. And lastly, the surgery's objective is to aid in the teaching and learning process. Islamic legal maxim found that when the advantage of the general public conflict with the personal profit, so an Islamic legal principle believes that the general public benefit takes priority. It will respect the death if an autopsy is performed on the body of deceased person. However, identifying the source of the disease and preventing it from spreading, on the other hand, is a general or public benefit. So there are some issues related to the postmortem in human life. If the deceased family refuses to have an autopsy performed, accept their decision. If the autopsy is necessary, however, consult the family and explain why the autopsy is necessary. The reason for this is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has instructed us to be just generous, and in certain circumstances, being fair means determining the reason of death or the disease to defend the deceased death. If a non-Muslim and a Muslim body are available for autopsy, pick the non-Muslim body first if the autopsy is for medical purposes or disease identification. So that's all from me. Thank you for listening.